Why, greetings, hipster. You seem to be in an awfully good mood today.
Why, yes, Pompous. I actually think I am. Why, I got everything I need right here with me. I got the air in my lungs, a few blank sheets of paper. I love waking up in the morning, not knowing who I'm gonna meet, what I'm gonna do, or anything like that. Why, just last night I was sleeping under a bridge, and now here I am, in this mysterious, yet somehow wonderful forest with you, Pompous. I figure life's a gift, and I don't intend on wasting it. You don't know what you're gonna be dealt with next. I just learned to take life as it comes at me.
Why, well said, hipster. I have an adventure for you. Wouldn't you like to explore the Titanic's remains?
Oh boy, would I? Well, that sounds like quite the adventure.
It's another game lost in the mists of time.
Yes. The Titanic. No, this is not the Titanic game that everyone played called Titanic Adventure Out of Time, but rather a mysterious undersea adventure, later on known as Dare to Discover. This was developed by Dosh Design, which seems to exist now, but only doing models, scenes, and textures. I can't confirm if it's the same company, but I know this game is German and that the company was established in 1995. The two games they made, this and Area D, were released in 1998 and 1997 respectively, so it does make sense. I've been told things about Area D. It looks like a huge disaster and one that I gotta play. Anyways, the score for Area D, do I need to say more? The scores for Titanic don't look much better, with an average of 34 out of 100. It was published by Ari Data CD, a German publishing company that was known to offer more than 100 different CD-ROM titles, although the list in Moby Games is quite small. There are literally only 2 videos of this on YouTube, well, until this one came in. One was by Hall of First Person Games, who do like every game possible, a cool channel by the way. And another one was someone recording it with a handheld back in what seems to be 2008 or 2009, saying, "God, I wish I never played it." So, is this a game where I'm finally gonna find love? Or am I just gonna be stuck in the frozen water drowning? Stay tuned to find out.
Who's that pointing and clicking his way to internet fame? It might be a little too cool for your mainstream kind of games, but if you like retro consoles and obscure PC stuff, then you might just be hip enough for this pretentious hipster.
Now, there are 2 versions of this. I think Dare to Discover came out in the early 2000s, while Titanic, A Mysterious Undersea Adventure came out in 1998 for, you guessed it, Windows 3.x. There are only 5 people that developed this, but I wanted to give it a legit shot, even with the low scores.
Now that is what I like. Do not be judgmental. Be unbiased.
So, let's get this adventure started.
According to the latest researches, there is a possibility the Titanic did not sink from the iceberg collision, but instead from other mysterious reasons. A submarine detected sonar signals on the seafloor close to where this catastrophe took place. We will send you and a deep-sea diving team with the most modern equipment to this dark and mysterious place. Discover what is happening in these depths. Take the amulet with you, as it somehow appears to be connected with this Titanic disaster. Bring light into the darkness. Reveal the mystery of the Titanic.
First we did a space episode. Then we did another one in space with a majestic ship compared to the Titanic. Now we are doing one on the Titanic, but underwater. Does that mean that the next one will have to do with water?
Well, maybe not. It then starts you off right there in the village. Fortunately, they do provide some assistance, and it was obviously the first place I looked at. Oh god, trust me, you're gonna have to save often. And look at this. They're already showing all these puzzles. I guess they knew that this was gonna be difficult. Now, I will give it to them. I'll let the gameplay go on for a bit. It's got a cool atmosphere to it with the music and the underwater sounds. However, this really went downhill later on. The navigation system is even worse than in the first Majestic game. You can use the arrow keys, however, which does make it easier. I then started exploring around, looking at all the empty buildings, and then coming across this. I reached this part which seems to be some sort of red cave, but the game calls it brown. You know how much I hate mazes, and I gotta say, this is maybe the worst one I've encountered in a point-and-click game. It's got tons of different exits to it, with it being a dark screen, so you won't really know how to make good progress with it. Of course, I just kept trying, and eventually finding this crystal on the ground. Turns out the hint says that there are 6 entrances. Wow. But you can find something in the clock tower. Even though I solved the maze randomly, I had to go up to the clock tower to see what the hint was. It seems to be a map, but look at what a mess that is. It still would have taken so much deducing to see which ends you got into before figuring out what your starting point is. I can already tell how sadistic this game is going to be. I then go to the church and I see an even worse puzzle. See all of these letters? The hints say that you can deduce which letter is which, and they do give you a word to start off with, but they don't really start off with a hint that's like useful. They don't give like a letter translation or anything, just, oh, this word is somewhere there. I guess you just gotta keep experimenting until the words make sense. Besides, that's even what this hint says. How much bullshit is that? Turns out it's not even really needed, as it just gives you hints on what to do next. Of course, you know what this means. Walkthrough time. It's basically a warning that there'll be plenty of guardians to look out for in the cemetery. Going into one of the buildings, I see this puzzle. The puzzle does get solved, and guess what you unlocked? Another maze. This part is obvious, you gotta break a wall. But how? I mean, it can't be brute force, right? You're underwater, and using the amount of force needed to break it is pretty much impossible. Oh, I found a crowbar. Is it really brute force? Oh, it is.
And that is why I stay in the forest. Brains over brawn. Why I am the smart, good-looking one. And you're the one that just mashes everything.
The best part is that after getting that, I knew what building to go to, but getting there was such a weird task. It's weird because for such a small in-game world, you are going to get so lost. Anyways, breaking that leads to this puzzle. As far as I could tell, you gotta make a path for a ball with some very tough indicators of which switch does what. Now, the alphabet, they say that guardians will wake up when you take stuff from the graveyard. I was honestly scared, so I looked up to see where to go next, and then practiced my path over there with a terrible navigation system. I didn't take the stuff, and apparently they follow you? There's no cutscene at all to show that. I decided to go to the About Me section, which, going off on a tangent first, look at the date here. It says 1998. Remember that. Anyways, you think that'll pause the game, right? Oh, never mind. Game over. I wonder if they even bothered making animations for the Guardians when they were chasing you. On the bright side, opening that gives what might be the easiest puzzle, but one that is so myst-like.
Why, I am now a photographer. But wait, what is this contraption? No, I do not know how to use this, for all I do is carriage away.
As a side note, it was at the point where the game kept crashing. I'm not sure if it's the game itself or DOSBox messing around with too many saves or something. With a game like this, honestly, who knows? Anyways, this leads to an area which is what? A third maze.
Well, it's obvious why they would do this. They wanted to make the game amazing.
A couple of crashes later, pun not intended, it leads me to, well, the Titanic. But honestly, who cares? I just want this uninspired and depressing game to end. This puzzle's actually somewhat clever as you gotta line stuff up. And out of all the ways to end this puzzle, it's the easiest one that you saw in the church. Considering how the other puzzles were, shouldn't they make a more suitable ending difficulty-wise with the puzzles? Doing this was the ending cutscene.
Welcome, stranger. Have no fear. Nothing will happen to you. The amulet in your hand activated the gate. This has already happened too often in the past. We will close the door forever. Keep the amulet as a sign of our goodwill and as a remembrance of this place. Translate the inscription, and it will release the mysteries of the energies, the light, and the music. Use the knowledge wisely, for this will bring peace to mankind. We wish you a lengthy and peaceful future.
This kind of implies that they don't really want to stop me, saying nothing bad will happen. But then why were they chasing me in the graveyard? Anyways, here's the end screen. What? Remember how I said the About Me page says 1998? Here's 1997. Unbelievable is also not capitalized and the credits is missing a letter I. Well, at least they did the capitalization error twice in a row.
Consistency!
Sure. I think this summarizes the ending of it well. I shouldn't be too harsh on it because it is a German game, but stuff like the copyright date being inconsistent is not something that was lost in translation. This was honestly just a depressing experience. But, is this a myst clone? 1. It's in first person. It gets an Atris.
Keep moving it to the right.
2. You have a minimal inventory like maps and stuff, but it's more permanent. It gets a Catherine.
Breathtaking, isn't it?
3. You're not really listed with any commands. It's automatic. It gets an Atris.
Keep moving it to the right.
4. You have no idea where you are. They really try to immerse you into it. It gets an Atris.
Keep moving it to the right.
5. Atmosphere. It definitely tries to aim for that the most with its music, ambience, and feeling of isolation. It gets an Atris.
Keep moving it to the right.
6. A very minimal plot and you're required to solve puzzles to figure it out. Except for the ending, of course. It gets an Atris.
Keep moving it to the right.
7. The puzzles. Most are mazes, which I guess are logic based, and there's pretty much no inventory puzzles. It gets an Atris.
Keep moving it to the right.
This is most definitely a myst clone.
So, hipster, with this, Myst, and the Heaven game, which honestly wasn't as bad, do you still plan on continuing the series?
I mean, I might as well.
Why, oh no, I'm the one that wants to review the Myst clones. Well, maybe I have something that will be the biggest challenge yet.